Yo, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, in this video is going to be a little bit different from the type of content that y'all see me upload at the regular basis, covering news and stuff. Some of the things that I always wanted to do is to pretty much have a different of an impact on the MMA community or just combat sports in general, where, we kind of bring up the IQ of the average, person watching the fight or fights, right? Because usually we just see people that, view these combat sports as, just fights. And I think that we need to definitely upgrade the way we think about them. And the only way we can do that is if we educate the average mind, just like we see in basketball or in football, hockey, soccer. The IQ of the average fan seems to be a lot higher than the IQ of the average fan in combat sports, which is something that I really, really would like to change. So, yeah, let's go ahead and break down this fight. We're not going to break it down to its, most extreme degree, but we are definitely gonna, talk about some major points that we do see in this fight, and let's go ahead and break this down. Pussy. So Sean Strickland right there says pussy. Anyways, all right. Long guard. Okay, so something that I want to, pretty much address really quickly is just a drastic difference in base, right? We know that Sean Strickland is 6'1", and this is Rukia Ampo. For those of you guys that don't know, he fought Bocao like a year ago and had a draw against him. Getting a draw against Bocao, even when he's like 40 years old, is still something, to be proud about, because Bocao, as we know, is one of the greatest kickboxers of all time. But anyways, let's go ahead and just talk about the difference in base, because they seem to be drastically different here. And look, Sean Strickland is 6'1". He has a more narrow up straight base compared to Rukia Ampos, who has a more traditional wide base. Let's see if we can find a better illustration of this. Okay, look. Perfect. Sean Strickland right here. He has the much taller, longer, big man, base right here. And of course, we see Ampo with the much more wider traditional base. A lot of times, whenever we see boxing matches, we see the taller guy coming down to the level of the shorter fighter, right? And he sacrifices a large majority of his advantage, height wise. But it's just something that I want to point out very quickly, because the difference in base obviously is going to influence the difference in decision making in the sparring session. So something very interesting that Sean Strickland does as well is that whenever he is retreating, he retreats with the long guard. We see that a lot in boxing. We see that a lot in Muay Thai. For those of you guys that have practiced Muay Thai, you guys would know that whenever you guys are trying to advance against a person with a really good sense of how to extend his arms, it's a pretty tedious thing to accomplish. Oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So right now, you're going to see Rukia Ampo pretty much slip to his dominant side, which is going to be his lead hand. He's going to see that Sean Strickland's pretty much not in position to defend. He's going to go for the open body shot. It's going to be a very long shot, and then he's going to go to look to land that same punch again, but instead of going for the body shot, he's going to go right upstairs, which is a punch that's coming from the hip. It's not a punch that's coming straight from his high guard. Again with the long guard on the disengagement. This is very interesting. So Sean Strickland is noticing that his opponent really tries to go for that high guard. How many times have we heard in boxing class or in a Muay Thai kickboxing class, we hear the coach yell to us all the time, high guard, hands up, hands up. And it's not something that you always want to do. I mean, it's not a bad advice depending on your position, but if you're always in this high guard, Sean Strickland pretty much with the height and reach advantage is just going to control his guard and land easy shots, which is something that I think he picks up on in just a little bit. See that control? Punches him on his high guard. He's on his high guard again. I guess he has no option there because he was right by the cage. So Rukia is doing a very interesting thing. He's making himself, pretty much have like if Rukia had pretty good footwork, you know, he would try to get out of this position before his back touches the fence, because he only has two options. He could either go left or right, but right now we see that Sean Strickland is on his left side, so Rukia cannot go this way. He is forced to go on the outside, and even if he goes to his outside, you know, he's probably gonna eat some shots on the way there. So there we saw him. We saw him literally running away from Sean Strickland. You can see Sean Strickland laughing a little bit. Another long guard, another control right there. This is what I'm talking about. These are very interesting things that we hear nobody talking about whenever they do these breakdowns, and I'm kind of tired of it. So we see one control here from Sean Strickland. He's controlling his opponent in the high guard. You can tell that he's in a high guard because his hands aren't here. His hands aren't on the other side. Rukia's hands are in the high guard currently right now. And Sean Strickland controls him, and then he gets another control over him whenever Rukia is trying to disengage. This is very important stuff. How many times do we hear, you know, in boxing class, MMA class, you know, Muay Thai class, that you're pretty much your coach is telling you to keep your hands to your face. Put your hands up, boy. You know, but we see Sean Strickland right here. That's not what he's doing. His hands are low, and he got a control off of Rukia on the disengagement. So I think that was a little bit of switch hitting. Let's see. Okay, yeah. We need to talk about this. So right here, Sean Strickland's going to go for a long two. I call it a follow-up cross. There's not really a name for this technique. But this technique is very, very powerful. We see Golovkin, Triple G, for those guys that know boxing, do this a lot. We see Peter Yan do this a lot, where pretty much they'll throw a long cross and they'll land square right there. So Sean Strickland threw that long cross and he landed square on his opponents. Notice how his feet are right next to each other. I mean, this foot is a little bit ahead of this foot, but you know, not by much. He pretty much landed square. And then again, he goes for the control. He smothers his opponent. Another control and some combinations. And Rukia again stuck on the fence. Again, more controls from Sean Strickland. He's really using his grappling abilities that he's learned from MMA in this kickboxing match. Again, with the high guard from Sean Strickland, more controls, and of course, this isn't really a traditional technique, right? These hammer fists, right? We don't see it in kickboxing. We see this in MMA, right? Maybe Sean Strickland doesn't know that, but look, to me, if Sean Strickland does know that, you know, you're not supposed to throw hammer fists in kickboxing, this kind of just might be a moment where he's kind of like poking fun at Rukia. You know, but yeah, again, some of the same things that we've been talking about earlier in this video. Sean Strickland, major control on his opponent. His opponent is on a high guard. And yeah, Sean Strickland is just taking advantage of those positions. More high guard on the disengagement. More controls. More controls here. I mean, it's just rinse, wash, and repeat for Sean Strickland at this point. And wow. Wow. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a different video from the type that I'm usually used to uploading. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video. If you have any questions or, you know, pretty much any thoughts on this video, let me know down in the comments. As always, it's a pleasure. Peace out and have a good one.